the KSM show.
Yeah. Welcome to the special edition of the KSM show. And it's a special edition because I'm going to be talking to a very special dude, man. Show some love, man. I'm talking to a special dude. No. You know, way back in the day when we were in New York City, cruise. Let me say cruise. And, you know, one of the young Ghanaians that came, and I really remember, his name is George Ntim. He came and he started working with the Vista Hotel, and he started as a front desk assistant with the Vista Hotel. Front desk assistant too. Today, as we speak, he's the market director of diplomatic and community relations at the Marriott Hotels. Show some love, man. And it's so impressive. Front desk. Work yourself all the way up to market director. Not only that, man, he's now the chairman of the New York State Hospitality and Tourism Association. Show some love, man. Mind you, I didn't say New York City, I said New York State, the whole state, over 2,000 hotels plus. Show some love for my man, George Ntim. Hey, Georgie, welcome, man. Whoa! Charlie George, before I start, congrats.
Thank you.
I think I saw it on Ghana Web first.
Thank you.
The George Ntim has been made chairman of the New York State Hospitality and Tourism. I said, hey, I know him. Damn. But Charlie, congrats, man.
Thank you, Greg.
I mean, you've been steady. You've been focused. You started in hotel work as a front desk assistant.
Yes.
And now Marriott marketing director.
Yes.
And the New York State chairman of the, oh man, one more time. How has the journey been, briefly?
Well, Kwaku, as you know, first of all, thanks for inviting me to your show. And as you know, back in the day, I started as a front desk agent or assistant at the Vista Hotel. And in 1993, after the first bombing in 1993 at the World Trade Center.
Oh, let's back it up a bit, because folks, the Vista Hotel was at the World Trade Center. You invited me there once, right?
Yes!
Yes! It was at the World Trade Center. That's where you started.
That is correct.
Wow.
And that time I was going to Pace University, so
I
it
remember.
was very close to the hotel. And after the bombing, we were asked to stay home for 3 months. And
Where were you during the bombing? Yes, please.
I was on duty, and I actually was the manager on duty, so I did all the evacuation for the hotel. I moved all the employees across the street, and then also made sure that the guests were safe. In fact, some of them did not even speak English. You know, just imagine,
Wow.
international hotel, you have so many guests, some speaks English, some don't. But then we had a plan in place. So we evacuated all the guests, and unfortunately there were 5 that were killed. But I left, and for 3 months, they asked us to stay home for 3 months. I stayed home for 2 days, and I just couldn't hold it. So I said, let me go out and look for a job.
Okay.
So I went to the Marriott Marquis and asked for, apply for a job. And frankly, that was not the ideal job that I wanted, but I just needed to work for 3 months.
So what did you start off at the Marquis?
Well, I actually went in for a position called Director of Guest Services. And when I went for the interview, they said, no, they're not going to give me the Director of Services job. So they created a position for me at the Marriott Marquis, which was a permanent manager on duty. And as I was doing the job, the Vista called me back to after the third.
They called you back.
That is correct, yes. And most of the employees went back. So I think the Vista Hotel was very persistent that they wanted me to come back. So I told Marriott that unfortunately I have to go back. And they said absolutely not. So they asked me what can they do to make it, to
keep you there.
So I told them what the Vista was offering me, and they said, fine, if that's what breaks the deal, we'll just do it. And
wow.
They gave me a nice package, couldn't refuse. And then
they made you an offer you couldn't refuse. Wow.
So I decided to stay with the Marriott, and today I've been with them for 26 years.
Wow. Show some love, man. Show some love. Wow. I mean, that's interesting. The Vista wanted you back.
Yes.
Made you an offer. Marriott to not let you go, then they won't top her. Or did they top the offer or they just played ball? Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. Yes. That's fantastic. Well, that goes to show one thing, wherever you work and the youth of Ghana, listening to this now, man, make yourself relevant. That's the only key. They found him so relevant, they wouldn't let him go, so they had to make him an offer to stay. You can't beat that, man. Show some love. So you've been with them 26 years.
26 years.
Wow.
Yes.
And now chairman of the New York State?
Yes. Just maybe about 15 years ago, I was invited by the New York State Hospitality and Tourism Association to join their board. And I was with them, and I believe a year ago, they asked me to be the vice chair. And I graciously accepted the offer. And this year, at the last board meeting, they asked me to chair the association. And frankly, I was very surprised, and they said, no, George, you have to take this. So
wow.
Once again, I accepted the offer, and now I'm very excited about moving the association forward.
As we say in Ghana, would you chairman? Would you chairman? Oh, that's fantastic. You've always been a love for this hospitality thing. You're a professor at NYU. You've been teaching hospitality for how long now?
It's been about 20 years.
Really?
Yeah, at NYU.
NYU, yeah.
New York University. That's your former school.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
So basically, you're a tourism guru, man. You're held very, very high. And once again, congratulations, man.
Oh, thank you.
You make us all proud,
Thank you.
Those of us sitting at the side, oh, that's Wow. So let's talk about tourism for a bit. We just had a very successful year of the return. And you were in the U.S. I guess you saw the social commentary about lots and lots of African Americans returning home to Ghana. You experienced that?
Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of publications and social media stuff going on. And quite frankly, I was just a bit concerned about the timing of the event.
Why? Why the timing?
Because, you have to understand, during December, Ghana gets busy anyway because you have Ghanaians who live abroad, whether it be USA,
Really coming
Germany,
for Christmas, yeah.
UK, France, they all come home anyway. So the airfares are pretty expensive just to come home, and then the tourism products in general gets expensive because everyone knows that these Ghanaian Americans or Ghanaian British or whatever are coming home. So I think it would be great if in the future or moving forward we can possibly shift the time.
Leave it from the peak travel time to.
Yes, keep it away from the peak time, because during the peak time, I mean, some of the complaints that I heard from friends, and family members were that they found the hotels to be too expensive. Some of the Ghanaians felt that the hotels were cheating them because they had to raise their rates and
because the influx of visitors.
That is correct. And it's all about supply and demand. So I would have shifted the period to a period where the hotels, I know for a fact that the hotels are slow. For instance, in January, hotels are pretty empty in January because everybody spends their money in December, and
then January they're
right.
recouping.
Now, because we had it in December, there was a segment of people that wanted to attend, but they couldn't afford to come.
The rates were so high.
So high, ridiculously high, especially the airfares.
Yeah.
So what you go against is that those people that were able to come, they spend so much money. They spend so much money that in their minds they think Ghana is too expensive. Okay, and once they say Ghana is too expensive, in our industry, what we say makes you successful is the intent to return. Now, if I go to Ghana and Ghana is so expensive, I'll tell you, listen, I had a great time, but I'm not going back.
Because it was too expensive.
Because it was too expensive. But if you shifted in a period where in the industry we call it need dates, meaning dates that you need some business, you know, if you shifted to, let's say, January, for instance, January, you still have some of the employees working, because once you hit January and the occupancies goes down, guess what? The hotels will have to lay off all these employees, tell them to stay home. Whereas there would have been a continuity, you know, in terms of giving people jobs, you know. So in my view, that's
the timing was not quite on. Okay.
Right. Alternatively, what I've seen in so many other countries, or especially in the Caribbean, maybe we could have had a couple of ships, let's say Carnival Cruise Line, to dock a couple of ships in the country, and then have these visitors use them as hotel rooms. You know, after all, they were not here to sleep. They were here just to find a place to sleep and then go to the activities. You know, Carnival Cruise Lines, they have ships that have about 4,000 rooms. So even if you had 2 of them, that will basically help bring down the cost of the hotel rooms, because it's all about supply and demand. So that's what I would have done.
Yeah, shows a lot, man. Shows a lot, man. So, was there any connection between New York State tourism and the Ghana tourism? Was there a link to help push this, or there wasn't any actual linkage between your office and the Ghana State tourism? And can there be, looking forward, a possible collaboration to this effect?
Well, regrettably, there was no form of communication between the Ghana government and New York City Hotel Association or the New York State. However, you know, since you know how much I love this country, I'll be willing to share some ideas on how we can make things better moving forward. We can even partner with the Ministry of Tourism and then see how we can help promote more of such events in Ghana.
Which is good, because I know that you consult for other countries, other governments, from the Caribbean, the whole basin. They consult with you for tourism stuff. What do you do with them?
Well, I deal with Jamaica, Trinidad, Dominican Republic. You know, these are countries that they live and die with tourism. So and then their biggest customers are coming from the United States, just like Ghana. So what they've been asking me to do is to give them some ideas on how they can better exceed the expectations of the visitors coming from the U.S. Because keep in mind, the average worker at the front desk may not have had the chance to go to the United States, yet they're servicing these people from the U.S. So what I'm bringing to them is the experience from the U.S., I'm bringing it to them in their respective countries, because not everybody can go to the U.S. and understand. And as you know, the U.S. is a very, very delicate market. They are very, very, I wouldn't say aggressive, but they know what they want. Okay? An American, when they come to your restaurant and they ask you for Pepsi, and you don't have Pepsi, don't give them Coke. Okay, they'll pay for whatever. Any cost that the item costs, they will pay for it. But they are very, very insistent on choices. They love choices, and unfortunately, if you go to some of the restaurants in this country, for instance, if they don't have, let's say if you ask for fish, you ask for red snapper. If they don't have red snapper, if you're not lucky, they will just bring you another kind of fish, without knowing that you really have a personal taste for red snapper. So those are the kinds of experiences that I share with these countries. The other thing is education. If you look at Ghana tourism, a lot of these youth who are working in the hotels, anytime there's a new hotel, everybody runs over to the new hotel. But who is really training these people? And where are these people going to come from in the future? Because it's like a visual circle. They're just recycling themselves. They're moving from one hotel to the other. But the people are not being trained properly.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, and the sad part is Ghanaians are naturally hospitable. They're wonderful, very warm people, but they just need some knowledge on how to exceed the expectations of these people. And then lastly, my recommendation will be, as I give to most of the Caribbean countries, will be the hotel development. Now, the hotel development, what you do is you host a conference, hotel investment conference, because I was, as you know, I was part of this Marriott that was built in Ghana. And when Marriott was coming in, initially they were dragging their feet because they didn't know the statistics of tourism in Ghana. But then when they found out, they were shocked. So by having an investment conference, that will really attract more people to come and invest, you know, in the industry. Because right now, they don't know how wonderful the tourism industry is in Ghana.
Are you happy with this, the state of tourism in Ghana now? Hotels, because the hotel, or what do you call it? The kind of people going to hotels are like the business more than the tourist. I'm talking about the major hotels, though. You know.
I'm surprised that you know that, because you're not in the business. But you can even tell. If you walk into any major hotel in New York, I mean in Accra or Kumasi right now, it's all business people. We're not getting the leisure travelers. And the leisure travelers, where are they going? They're going to the Caribbean. It costs them only $300 to get on a plane and
go to the Caribbean.
To the Caribbean. What is an average airfare to come to Accra? $1,200. And if I come here, I have to stay for how many days? A week. A week hotel room will cost me about $300. So multiply $300 by 7, plus let's say $1,200 on ticket. Then you have to buy food, transportation, gifts. So when you add all these up, they feel that they will have a better buck for their money.
Going to the Caribbean.
To the Caribbean. So that's why we're losing out on the tourism on the leisure guest side.
If you were advising the state tourism or the minister for tourism, what were the few things you think you pass to them to try and boost this whole tourism thing?
Well, I think the first thing is to really tackle the hotel investment conference, because again, I'm part of a group that typically holds one in every year. We have a different Caribbean country that we host the conference. Again, it's just telling people your story, that we have tax rebates, we have some incentives to build hotels in Ghana. So you need to tell your own story, because people don't know what is really going on in Ghana. Secondly, we have a great advantage. All the neighboring countries around Ghana, they have issues. So most of the flights, people come here. If I'm going to Sierra Leone, Liberia, Ivory Coast, they typically fly to Ghana and take a regional flight to the other to their final destinations. So because Ghana is becoming a hub, we need to increase the number of hotel rooms. And once we increase the number of hotel rooms, frankly, the rates will go down. Okay? If you go to the Dominican Republic, I mean, a 5-star hotel, you can easily get it for about $200. 5-star hotel. Why? Because they have abundance of hotel rooms. And essentially, it's all about supply and demand. So that would be the first thing. Second will be the education. I remember we used to have a hotel school called Hot Cat. You know, now we need to maybe get back into hotel or tourism courses in our schools, so that these youth can get into it at an early stage versus waiting for the hotels to train them. And the hotels, unfortunately, you know, they don't have to, because they're making money. You know, if they send them to training or not, they're still making
It's
money.
not an incentive.
It's
because,
not an incentive.
You
know, why should I spend money to send her to a hotel school when if I send her or not, I'm still gaining
I'm going to
anyway.
get
My
my
hotel is still being filled. So that's another issue. And I also think that even if you go to the US or UK, Germany, the smallest Caribbean country always do promotions. I have seen Ghana being promoted on CNN International. Now, why are you promoting Ghana on CNN International when your biggest market is the USA?
The USA doesn't see CNN International?
They don't, we have CNN International, but most Africans or tourists that comes here, they watch regular CNN.
Oh, okay, okay.
So
that's a distinction that we should be aware of.
Huge.
Because we are spending huge amount of dollars
absolutely
on CNN International,
And
where the traffic we're looking for is not watching.
Exactly right. It should be. So if you look at all the Caribbean countries, they do their promotions on regular CNN. That's where most of the people go to.
Watch, yeah.
Yeah. And essentially, US is your biggest market anyway. So why don't you carve the promotion towards those people?
Well, I guess if hopefully once the Ghana Tourism Board is working in collaboration with your outfit, these are things that will probably come to your mind. You know, somebody probably said, "Oh, I've got lots of money. Let's go to CNN International." International sounds, you know. Okay.
And again, one of the things that we do as the New York State Hospitality and Tourism Association, remember, our goal is to make sure that the governors put a lot of money in tourism promotion. I'm sure you've heard of I Love New York. It's part of the campaign. So we lobby the governor to put more money in promoting tourism in New York State versus the conferences going to other parts of the U.S. You know, and the same way, if there's any issues going on within the hospitality and tourism industry, which is not favorable to us, we will go and discuss it with the governor and say, Governor, you know, these restrictions or this new law that just passed is really impacting negatively our business. So maybe we need to reverse it.
And one thing I noticed too when it comes to tourism is that in countries where tourism is flourishing, it's like the people own it. I don't remember which African country I went to. I don't know whether it's Uganda or Tanzania. I don't remember. But the cab driver, once he drove me to the hotel, gave me his card and said, "So you have to see the source of the Nile. You have to see this. And when you need to go, you know, call me, you know." And I was very impressed that they even had the basic understanding of what a tourist should look out for. You know, we don't have that in Ghana, if I may say. It's like the year of the return was the year of the return that we read about in headlines and things, but it wasn't like down to the ground where people really understood that we have to own something like this and play our rules.
Well, when you have such a program like the Year of Return, I truly believe, okay, that maybe the government can create some type of orientation program. You know, you set aside maybe 2-3 weeks and say, you let the whole nation know, the tourism sector, look, this is the program that's coming. It starts from this period and it ends on this period. This is where Ghana should show our best. So you communicate this to the airlines, the hotels, the restaurants, even the immigration, because that's the first point. The immigration officer needs to be more hospitable. Welcome to Ghana, blah, blah, blah. So once they come out with this feeling that this country is really, really hospitable, you know. And without that type of education, you know, I think there was some disconnect. You know, one bad experience. One thing that I've realized is if somebody comes to Ghana and they stay at the Golden Tulip, for instance, when they go back, and supposing, again, I'm just making this up, but if they had a bad experience at Golden Tulip and they go back to the States and they're being asked, how was your experience? They're not going to say I had a bad experience at Golden Tulip because they know that you don't know Golden Tulip. They will say I had a bad experience in Ghana, which is not a good look for Ghana. So I think we need to start doing more orientation when we have special events such as the Year of Return. You know, because we have great hotels. I mean, listen, I've stayed at Golden Tulip for years, Kempinski, the Marriott, Movenpick. All these are hotels that are terrific. But it's just that we need to raise the bar a little bit in terms of the customer service.
As a customer service, I can agree with you. And it's not only in hotels, you know, the whole culture of customer service we have to actually step up in almost every endeavor. Oh, wow, wow. So what do you see down the line, George and Tim? Are you, you know, hospitality tourism chairman of the New York State? What next?
Well, I mean, I don't know what the future holds, but you know, I will do my best, and any way I can help this great country. I just love this country. I love the people. I love their passion, and anywhere you go, you tell people that you're Ghanaian. You know, there is a sense of pride. You know, people respect you. People respect the country. And I mean, we'll see. But I just think that we should all chip in, and you know, there's some setbacks in certain areas, but I don't think we should let things hold us back. You know, and that's why I started my foundation, the African Development Foundation.
And how's that doing?
Oh, it's coming along really good. Right now, we're building baseball fields for the kids. And hopefully, once that is done, we'll move into health. You know, there's a doctor that I met, Dr. Wiafe. She has she does this breast cancer walk. You know, so we're trying to collaborate with her so we can support her breast cancer walk. You know, because it's a dangerous disease and it's killing so many of women. So. You know, and then I also want to get into education. You know, how we can support the youth in schools and see how best we can help some of them maybe go to the United States or UK or what have you. Yeah.
Let's get personal, man. What do you do for fun? How do you relax?
Oh boy!
When you have time outside of the hotel.
Well, you know, the hotel business, I always say hotel business is like it's like a little baby.
Yeah.
You have to keep an eye on it 24 hours. So I never get disconnected from my job.
You're married, right?
Yes, I am. Yes.
And is your wife, who's your wife, by the way? I'm only saying that because I know she's in the audience. Show some love, man.
Well, she's Giselle, and she's actually from Sao Paulo in Brazil. And she's very, very supportive to
Did you find her in Brazil, or she came to America, or
no, we met in the States. You
met in the States?
Yes, yes, and she's a wonderful lady. She's been extremely supportive. You know, I don't get home on time, but anytime I have a little time, I take her with me wherever I go. Yeah, in fact, like you said, she's here with me, and we're heading back to New York tonight because we're going to the Super Bowl. You know, but what I really have for fun is going to sporting events.
Really?
I love baseball, I love football, and basketball sometimes. You know, but I try as much as possible to go to several sporting events. Sometimes I go to Broadway shows, concerts, and those type of.
You're living the life, man. Do you see yourself moving to Ghana eventually? Not visiting us like you do, but coming to.
Well, you know, I'm going to tell you one thing that really, really touches my heart. When I see young talents, you know, I remember not too long ago, there was a concert being held in New York City. And a friend of mine works in a theater where they were performing. It's called a PlayStation. And we had Kwame Eugene, Kiddy, and then recently I met this young lady, Ms. V. And, you know, when I see these young talents, you know, the songs they sing, it's just amazing. And sometimes I wonder how we can get them to the States and then promote them. You know, it's just amazing. I went to the concert with my wife actually, you know, and the crowd, I don't know, the place was sold out. PlayStation, I mean, this is a big theater. Place was sold out, and I was just standing there looking around, looking at these fans, how they were cheering these guys on. And I'm saying to myself, where are these guys from? Are they really from Ghana? You know, I mean, they're just so talented.
Yeah,
You know, Kwame Eugene, Kitty, Sarkodie, or whatever it's called. You know, I mean, it's amazing. You know, so my goal is someday, yes, I may move to Ghana. I'm not sure if it's going to be permanently, but who knows? You know, I might move to Ghana permanently, but I also want to find a way to see how I can support
connect
these people because they need to be exposed.
Fantastic. They do some of them. You can imagine they are qualified to be on the world platform already.
Unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. I met this gentleman, Davido. You know, he I understand he's from Nigeria, and they're all very, very talented. You know, so my dream is that someday, you know, I plan to come to Ghana and maybe host an event and showcase all these talents. Or maybe do another event in New York City where I can invite them. In fact, I'll do my charity gala at the end of the year. I'll see if I can maybe get them to New York, just so I can do my little part by exposing them to the U.S. market.
And that's fantastic, man. That is fantastic. So, man, we have to wish you the best. I mean, I can't talk about wishing you the best now. I mean, you've front desk assistant to where you are now. It's a beautiful success story that inspires the Ghanaian youth. And when I saw your story on the Ghana web, I'm like, I'm not surprised, you know. So keep doing what you're doing. It's absolutely fantastic. Keep it up, man. And your final words to the people of Ghana who are watching you now?
Well, I mean, my final word is what really helped me get to where I am. I have some principles, and again, it doesn't matter if you work in hotel industry, insurance, banks, you know, any customer service related business. You know, my principles are: one, you have to be very respectful, because, like in a hotel situation, or even if you're a bank or insurance, anyone that walks into your door, you have to show some respect, you know. So it's very, very important that you respect people, you know. Yesterday I ran into a gentleman that I was told is pretty wealthy in this country. Yet, when I saw him, he was so unassuming, very humble, you know, and I just loved his spirit, you know, right away. But when I heard that he was so rich, I said, I cannot believe this man is so humble, you know. So respect is number one. And then you should also be consistent. You know, whatever you do, if you can start it or if you can't finish it, don't even bother to start it. And that's why, even though I'm here, I'm still connected to the people that I serve in the States. You know, so consistency is very important. The third one will be, you need to care for the people that help you get to where you are. You know, because there are always people out there waiting for you. You know, they have their hands out, you know, because they pushed you at one point. So you need to remember them and then give back, you know. And that goes to servicing the community. You know, I think I'm doing my part by having the foundation. I bring baseball equipment to the kids. I'm building a baseball field for them. I send them money. I brought 6 kids to the New York Mets spring training. You know, so everybody can do their part. You know, so giving back to the community, it's
key.
It's key.
Yeah.
It's very, very important. You know, and then you should also be reliable. You know, don't let people say that you know what, this person today he comes in early, the next day, so you can't even tell if the person will show up. You know. And you should also have a legacy. Now, the legacy must be very positive. You know, you don't want to have a negative legacy. You know, you want your legacy to be known that this person He has integrity. He always did something right, you know. And my last principle is humility, you know, because if you don't humble yourself, you know, like the Bible says, if you humble yourself, God does what? God
Raises
exalts
you.
you. But if you exalt yourself, God will do what? You know, just bring you down, you know. So that's my advice to folks who are watching the program.
And put your hands together for the man. Chama. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And
Well,
I'm looking forward to some active collaboration between your unit and the Ghana unit, you know, and the next year of the return will be even better than we have seen, and other areas too. Thank you, men, for joining us. And once more time, congratulations.
Oh, thank you, Gregory.
Stick around, folks. We'll be right back.
The KSM Show